All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back. It is your man RTP, Skull Gang in the building. We're here.
Skull Gang!
I didn't even want to go live today. I really didn't. I wanted to go live yesterday, but then I started cleaning. And then I really didn't want to go live yesterday either, so I just decided to just keep cleaning. It sucks to lose. It sucks to lose, and we lost Monday. I don't know if I told this story before. I might have halfway told the story before. But I first came onto YouTube in 2012. I believe it was 2012. Because of the fan base. We were in a very dark place as a fan base. Now, I say we were in a very dark place, but I will later learn that we weren't in a dark place as a fan base. And I'll explain what I mean by that. 2012 was around the time where I started really being a fanatic about this football team. I was a fan in 97, I guess. 97 is when I first started looking at the Bucks and started, playing with the Bucks on the video games, and 98 where I pretty much just said, I think I'm a fan. And I went on from there. But there was a game against the San Francisco 49ers. And a lot of my friends, I'm from California, LA, to be more specific. A lot of my friends are 49er fans. I have some 49er fans. I have some Raider fans. I have some Cowboy fans. I have, it's all around. But most of them a lot of them are 49er fans. And I invited them to my apartment to watch the 49ers play Josh Freeman and the Buccaneers. Josh Freeman, which I believe was in his second year. I believe maybe his third year. I think it was his second year. Might have been his third year because I think his sophomore year was a really good year. It was either that or his freshman year. He was coming off a really good year where we as Buck fans were believing this is our guy. At least I was. And I was talking a lot of trash. And we go out to play the 49ers and we get stomped on. We get just beat down by the 49ers. Now I was getting laughed at. I was getting trash talked, laughed at, all that stuff that I love to do to people. It was being done to me. And after that game, I said, you know what? I have no idea why we looked like this. I don't know what went wrong, but I'm gonna find out. Like, there's no I had no clue that this game could go like this. And that made me want to know more. I felt like I was in the dark. Like I got blindsided by this team that I thought was something and it wasn't. That's how I felt. So I wanted to know more. At that time, DirecTV was at its peak. I believe there was still no all 22 coaching film at that time. I believe. I don't remember. Maybe I just couldn't afford it. I don't know. There was none of that I recall back then. But DirecTV you were able to record the games. So I would record the games. And my first time doing coaching film, in my opinion, or breaking down film, I should say, was me playing and pausing the game, playing, pause, play, pause, and just watch everybody slowly do their job every play or not do their job every play. Then I would rewind it and do it again and watch the next player. Rewind it, do it again. And I would just do that and watch everybody. That was the first time I started, trying to break down film and trying to see, can I see who is actually good, who is actually not? At that time, again, I was trying to learn as much as I can about the team. Started going on the Buccaneers app, trying to catch a press conference. Again, I don't even think Buccaneers were on YouTube yet. You just had to go on the app, Tampa Bay Buccaneers app, and watch the press conference. At that time, they had a show. I believe it was either on Thursdays or Wednesdays. They had a show where you can call in. It was a call-in show. They would pick one Buccaneer for that week, and that Buccaneer would be on the show. And you can call in, and you can talk to one of the Buccaneers. And I also downloaded another app that allows you to listen to radio stations from wherever. And I used that app to listen to Tampa radio stations or whatever radio stations was out there that cover basically that area, just to see if I can hear what they're saying about the Bucks and get any information over there. I was everywhere trying to figure out and get any information I could with the Bucks. And what I have found was a lot of fans would just trash the Bucks. They would call into the radio stations and just trash the Bucks and act like we were the worst thing, and it's just trash and blah blah blah, and that just trash the Bucks. And this guy sucks. The coaching sucks. This guy sucks. That guy sucks. And even when the Bucks did their podcast and would have the the Buccaneers on the line, and fans would call in to talk to the Buccaneers, like talk to Levante and talk to, Gerald McCoy and talk to whoever else. They would trash them. They would call the hotline and talk about how bad they were, like while they're on the line. And one time I was listening, and Gerald McCoy was trying to tell the fans, like, I understand. I feel your pain. I get it. I know these fans, they really care. And then he proceeded to talk about how this guy that he saw on YouTube make a ranting video about his team, who was the Cowboys, who lost to the Browns. I knew who he was talking about. He was talking about a man named Shango. And that's when it hit me. You know what? These players actually watched YouTube. They go on there and they see fans here and there. And that's when I decided to make my YouTube channel, Real Talk Perez. And that YouTube channel was made so that I can be real with everybody and be honest with with not just the fan base, but the players more than anything. It was really for the players. It was just for the chance of any player seeing it and maybe realizing, like, hey, not all the fans are bad. Not all the fans don't know what they're talking about. Some of them do. And that was my whole purpose of the Real Talk Paresh channel. Now, that channel ended up finding a community, a football community. They like to talk trash, and that was known as the TTC. And, that piqued my interest. That helped me find a community of other people that loved football, or so I thought, loved football as much as I did, and loved their team and was as passionate about their team as much as I was. It was fun for a couple of years. It was very fun, very entertaining. Helped grow my subscription very fast, to a certain point. And my channel kind of moved on from that to being the TTC. And then once that fell apart, I kind of went back to what my channel was for, my Real Talk Perez channel, which was breaking stuff down, trying to be real about what was wrong with the team, what the problem really was. I didn't like the fact that there was so many fans calling in shows and making this hoopla about this player, about this coach. And I'm sitting there thinking, they must not watch the game more than one time. They must not pay attention to the game. What are they watching? Because these are the people that are not the ones to be blamed. The ones that are to be blamed are these people. So I went back to my channel doing that, just trying to explain to people, these are not who are we supposed to blame. These are the ones to blame. So after doing that, I had to take a deep look into myself. At that point, we're talking maybe 2014, 2015, around that point, I started getting pretty good at breaking film down and understanding what I'm looking at. I still needed a lot of work, but I was getting better at it. And I got to the point where I got really good at understanding who our rivalry was. I got really good at understanding the Falcons, who they were, the Saints, who they were, and the Panthers, who they were, and where they were at in their franchise. And I got good at that. I got really good at it. And the problem was that I was still having at that time was learning how to take my fan goggles off, right? I was really good at seeing and understanding how good our division was and how good that team was and who they could probably beat or probably lose to. And I got good at that and understanding if they're a good team or playoff team or if they trash or whatever. But when it came to my team, I would see the good, but I was still ignoring the bad and what could possibly happen to our team that could be bad. And it took me a few years to understand that I got to stop that. And I got to, as you will hear me say a lot on this channel, I got to turn the rock over. I got to flip the other side of the coin. I got to see what's on that side. I can't just ignore what could possibly go wrong on that side, because that's how we continue to get blindsided. That's how we continue to lose or not be a good team when we thought we were a good team. We got to continue to flip that other side of the coin. I would say maybe a few years after that, like maybe 2018, 2019 is where I started getting good at doing that. And I started, my predictions of my team started being more realistic. They started matching, they started getting closer. My win-loss total started getting closer. The scores of games started looking more like what I thought they could look like. A lot of things started making more sense on the team. And at that time, fortunately for us, we ended up hiring Bruce Arians. We hire Bruce Arians. We go through the year we go through. I told everybody, listen, I think our defense finally figured it out towards the end of the season. I don't know if we're going to re-sign Jameis. Whether we re-sign Jameis or not, I think we're going to be a playoff team just based solely off of our defense. Like, I really legit think we have a defense now. We end up signing Tom Brady. Tom Brady does what he does. We go to the Super Bowl. All that stuff is good. As we're going through the Super Bowl, as we go through what we're doing with Brady, then the year after Brady, and then the year after that, we go through a lot of winning. And I learn a lot of stuff with Tom Brady. I learned a lot of stuff with Tom Brady. I learned how a quarterback needs to be. How he needs to take control, not just of the huddle, but he needs to take control of the play calls as well. Many times we've seen Brady literally, no, I don't want that formation, and send players back to the sideline and say, I don't want that formation. I want another formation. We've seen the game plans and play calling for Brady be different from where he's throwing the same exact interceptions with the same exact routes that Jameis Winston was throwing. But then a few days later, or a few games later, Brady's like, we're not running that play no more. We're not running that route no more. I'm done with that route. We're not doing that no more. I learned how a quarterback should be. I learned how a quarterback should take charge. I learned how a quarterback should take accountability. I learned how a quarterback, should make everybody else be accountable. Well, we're getting off the subject. The point is, I learned a lot of how a team should look, the way a vibe should be of the team, all that stuff. During that Super Bowl year, I said it when we got Brady. When we first got Brady, I said, okay, Brady's done. Before we had Brady, I said, Brady's done. He looks like he's done with the Patriots. Then when we got Brady, I went and I looked at his last season with the Patriots, and I saw, okay, his arm is not done. He just doesn't have anybody to get open. I mean, Brady was throwing down the field, pinpoint accuracy to a running back running a wheel route over the top of a defense. Pinpoint accuracy. So I said, okay, he's still got accuracy. He can still throw the ball down the field. So I guess his arm isn't the problem. The problem is none of his people are just getting open, you know? So I said, you know what? If he can do that with this offense and our weapons, we can go to the Super Bowl. So I claimed that. I said, we're going to the Super Bowl. This is going to be a Super Bowl run. We end up going to the Super Bowl. I'm calling games that I think this is going to be a hard game to win. This is going to be a tough game to win. We're probably going to lose this game. We're going to win this game. I'm calling these games as the season's going by. We losing games and we lost the Saints game. We got swept by the Saints. We lost a few games. And the fan base does what the fan base does, which is panic and go crazy and we suck and with this same old Bucks and all this other stuff, which I didn't mind because, as I said earlier in the stream, I found out that we wasn't going through dark times in 2012 as a fan base. All the bad talking we were talking about the Bucks, it felt at the time we were going through a dark time as a fan base, but in reality we wasn't. In reality, that was just the fan base. That was the fan base being the fan base. Again, I was a Bucks fan since about 97, 98, but I'm from the West Coast, so I really had no connection to the East Coast or no connection to Tampa at all. Like I didn't know any of that. And it wasn't until later on where, technology and apps and stuff like that allowed me to be able to listen to the radio stations over there and to hear how these Tampa fans really are as a fan base. And that's why at that time I thought we're in a dark area, man. We just don't believe in this team at all. But then I grow to learn that that's just how they are. They panic. They blame everybody. If we lose one game, everybody sucks. That's just how they are. You later learn that that's 90% of every fan base. It is what it is. It just, casual people just have casual thoughts. It just is what it is. But at that time, we're on a Super Bowl run. We got Brady. I'm learning things. In my mind, I thought we got out of the dark ages. We understand what's going on. We understand what this looks like. We understand how this feels now. Being a championship team, we understand the ups and downs. We won the Super Bowl his first year. We had the most up and downs. The first year, we had the most up and downs. We had the most loss in that first year than the second year, where we mopped everybody. We mopped everybody the second year, but we didn't go to the Super Bowl. Then the third year, if you wanted to stay blind and not see that it was Brady, then that's up on you. But that third year was just a year that we had to go through. And I'm not mad at it. It is what it is. He won us a Super Bowl. He deserves to go out until he can't no more. And he did. Appreciate it. But now we're in a new age. Now we have Todd Bowles. Well, we had him last year, but we go through what we go through. We break down the team like we've been breaking down the team here on this channel, new Pewter and Red podcast channel. And we go 2-0. Now don't get it twisted. Maybe on this channel, right? Because my day ones, a lot of people on this channel are very well informed, as you guys know, as far all the way down to the points. We're very well informed on this channel. A lot of people on this channel was like, yeah, I think 2-0 is very possible. Now, if you go on Twitter, if you go on Facebook, every Buck fan's going to act like, oh, yeah, we believe we were going to go 2-0. That was not the case. Let's be, again, we don't BS on this channel. We keep it real on this channel. All right. My name is Real Talk Perez for a reason. Like we keep it real on this channel. All right. Every Buck fan wants to act like, oh, yeah, we knew we were going to be 2-0. We all believed it. Again, most of the Buck fans on this channel, yeah, because we broke down film. We saw the ups. We saw the downs coming. We already saw it coming. Everywhere else, they didn't believe in Todd Bowles. A lot of them, Brady left. Come on now. A lot of them were drinking the same juice that everybody else was that all the media was feeding them. They were drinking that juice. A lot of them. We could be honest. It is what it is. But we go 2-0. Now they loving it. Everything's great. Everything's great. Tabos is the best. We got the best team and all this other stuff. All this, it is what it is. Now, me personally, I go with it. I will never sit here. This channel, me personally as a fan, I will sit here and say, hey, let's be real and let's be honest and let's blame who it is. Let's blame everything. I will do that. But I will never hear a Buck fan talk positive or say something positive, even if it's like way over exaggerating, and say, hey, calm down. Now we're not that good. I would never do that. I will never stop positivity. I will never, if a Buck fan comes to me and says, I think we could win the Super Bowl, I will never say, hey, pump your brakes. We're not that good. Even if I believe, pump your brakes, we're not that good, I would never stop the positivity. I would never do that. Why? There's no point. Let that positivity run wild. Think positive. I'm very big on positive energy. Think positive. Let positive come back. I would never sit here and be the Buck fan that said, I'm going to be honest, I didn't think we can do it. No. I can be honest and say, it's going to be tough. I can be honest and say, I don't know. I could be honest and say, yeah, we might lose. We might lose that game. But if there's a little bit of ounce, even if I do believe we're going to lose that game, if there's a little bit of ounce that says, hey, we might win this game, I'm going with that because I'm putting that positive energy out there. Now, again, if you watch this channel, you'll find streams here and there where I will say Buck to Buck. If we're with our Buck family, let's be honest. We're talking about this. Yeah, it's probably going to be, whatever. I mean, I said it in the offseason stream when we were doing schedule predictions, which is bull crap because we have no idea what the team's going to look like. But just going, it's everyone's happy. Football's around the corner. Schedule came out. Let's go through the schedule. I looked at the schedule and I said, I know what my team is right now, at least for the most of the part. We don't know exactly what the team is or how we're going to look this year. But for the most part, we have an idea, and we have an idea what that team already looks like. We're probably going to lose this game against the Eagles. Not only that, they have the mini bye. I already seen that coming. It is what it is. But then we had a little bit of hope with Jalen looking like the way he was looking. You know what? I'm not going to crap on the parade. We're 2-0. I'm not going to sit here and say we're not going to go 3-0. I'm not going to crap on that parade. Heck no. Keep the energy going. Let's go. We win in this game. It is what it is. Once again, off track. The point that I'm trying to say is we've been through a championship season and we've seen the roller coaster, the ups and downs, teams that we should have beat that we didn't beat. And we saw that season play out to us being champions. And it seems like our fan base still didn't learn from that. Still did not learn from that. They didn't learn from being mad at Jason Light for picking up Vita Vea and not getting Derwin James. They didn't learn from people talking about Donovan Smith and saying he's trash. We'll never win a Super Bowl with him. They didn't learn from all the bad that people swore we're always going to be trash because of this and because of that. William Golston, all this other stuff. They never ate their crow. They never ate their words because we did win a Super Bowl with Donovan starting. We did win a Super Bowl with Vita Vea and no Derwin James. We did win a Super Bowl with the picks and the trades and everything that Jason Light did. We did win a Super Bowl. So shut it and let them do what they're doing because you was wrong. You was wrong. When they said don't panic and you panicked and we lost games that we should have won. And I was sitting there saying, yeah, I get it. We should have won this game. But it's football. It's football. It's a sport. If you've played a sport, if you've ever played a sport in high school, this is why people are like, oh, scripting and that. If you ever played a sport, you understand things happen. Sometimes miracles happen. Sometimes It's just talent. Sometimes it just happens. There's no explanation. It just happens. Sometimes the matchups make sense. Sometimes the matchups don't make sense. It's sports. But you have to understand what means something and what doesn't. And if going through that Super Bowl season and having the ups and downs that we did there, losing to teams we shouldn't have lost to, getting swept by teams we shouldn't have got swept by, if that doesn't tell you, relax, chill. Like, we get it. You want to win. We want to win. It's a process. Going from where we went with Tom Brady and then we hit a certain point in like week, I don't know, what was it, week 13 or something like that, where wherever we had to buy, and then we went on a run and we won the Super Bowl. That tells you it's a process. Learn, guys. We have to learn as a fan base. We have to learn. Learn what's going on here. Now, there are times where you can panic and say, no, we're not learning. For instance, and I hate to do this, what the Panther fans are going through right now, you can see there's no learning. There's no getting better. This is what you are. You can see it from week to week to week. You can see the difference of Andy Dalton and Bryce Young. You can see the difference and see that it's still not enough to win, but there's a little bit of difference. But overall, as a team, that's just who they are. You saw how we performed week 1. You saw how we performed against Chicago. You saw how we performed against the Eagles. Are all those performances the same? No. Does it matter who we played against? Some parts of the performance, it matters about who we played. Some parts of the performance, it didn't matter who we played. That was us. You have to learn how to break down all those different parts. So we got a lot of people in the face, and I just realized, and not here, don't get me wrong, not here. Again, we're a lot more informed, which is why I urge people to share my content and share to other Buck fans so they can see us talking and see us how we get down over here. But I forgot how it was to lose and then go on Twitter. And it was so annoying. It was so annoying going to Twitter. It was one of those times where I was like, this is why I was quitting everything. Because I was quitting Twitter. I was quitting YouTube. It was just too negative. That's too much negative. I'm a positive guy. I need positive in my life, positive energy. And I was at the brink where I was quitting all that. And then I don't know what happened, where I got this energy to start a new channel, to do a new Twitter. I don't know where all that came from. I can't remember. I can't recall, but it came from somewhere. And I just decided, you know what? Let me do a Pewter and Red podcast channel. Let me start new, and let me do let me have a new Twitter and just start new. And that's what I did. And again, we lost, and I go on Twitter, and I'm just like, ugh, like the energy and all that's the negativity I didn't like. And it just reminded me, like, okay, that was what I was hating. That was why I almost stopped doing all this, because we already won. I got my Super Bowl, you know what I'm saying? I got 2 now, but I won my Super Bowl online. I proved the haters that would click on my channel, because I had a lot of haters because of the TTC. I had a lot of people that would click on my channel to laugh at the Bucks because of so much trash that I talked and all the work that I put in during those years. And I got my get back. I made everybody, all the Saint fans, all the Falcon fans, all the Panther fans, all those fans that used to watch my channel and used to laugh at me from Josh Freeman days all the way to the Jameis Winston days, and said I didn't know what I was talking about and I was dumb and I'm so delusional and all this and the Bucks will never be anything. I got my get back. I got my Super Bowl in front of their face. Now, they all scattered like roaches and act like they're not on YouTube no more, but I see them everywhere else, but they don't mess with me no more. So I know what that was about. They all scattered and ran like roaches. They didn't want to mess with RTP no more. When Brady came to town, they didn't want to mess with RTP no more. But I got my get back already. So I really had no reason to stay on YouTube. They wasn't going to come to me anyways. They didn't want no parts of me. So what was the point of staying on YouTube? Now, Brady left. They starting to come out the closet a little bit, coming out the cracks. And once we win the division with Bowles, I'm pretty sure they're all scatter again. It is what it is. But my point was I had no reason to really be back on YouTube. But we're here. I got that urge. I got that energy. I got, I want to see this franchise settle down and get steady, stay steady, competitive. And we have a chance to do that with Bowles and with these weapons we have and with the quarterbacks we have. So I say all that to say, it is what it is, man. It was a good game for them. For us, it was a bad game. And I think that's a good thing. That's the part that it's a good thing. We've played better than defensively. It is what it is. Defensively, no matter what, we're gonna struggle with them. They're a good O-line. That's them offensively matched up with us defensively. Their O-line, they're probably the only O-line that I'm worried about. They're the only O-line that could deal with our D-line. And that's just the truth. It just is what it is. Like you're not gonna have the best everything. Like it just is reality. And their O-line is probably the best in the NFL, man. It's the only O-line that I think can match up with our D-line and actually fight back, and put us in our butts. It is what it is. So the D-line, it is what it is. We took a L defensively. We took a L. We'll come back and try to fight them again in the playoffs. Offensively is the disappointing part. It's disappointing, but it's not disappointing. What does that mean? It's disappointing because of the outcome, the output that we did offensively. It's not disappointing because, fortunately, we know that that's not our offense. That's our offense at its lowest. Like, we were not competing offensively. We saw how our offense can compete and how our offense can execute in the Vikings game. We saw how our offense can execute in the Bears game. And I said execution, not the production of how many yards, how many points, how many touchdowns. That's the production. I'm not talking about the production. The production has to do with the Bears being a bad defense. And, Vikings, I stand by it. I don't think the Vikings are as bad as people think. I think we just executed very well and we produced pretty decent. So I'm not talking about the production. I'm talking about execution. The execution that we had against the Eagles was terrible. So terrible that the Bears would have looked better against that type of execution. And the execution had a little bit to do with Baker. And it had half of it was Baker, half of it was Dave Canellis. And I would say about a quarter of the half that Baker has to do with, we will put Mike Evans in there. He did drop a few passes. But it was mostly Baker and mostly Dave Canellis. Again, I don't want to have to go over this because it is what it is. If you really want to hear my breakdown, I already broke down, go to the post-game reaction. But that's just how I feel. The things that Dave has to learn, it's not doom and gloom because it's not doom and gloom yet because we have next game coming up. And based on how we look, not even look, it's not about look. Based on how Dave reacts next game, we'll see. We might have a game against the Saints where I say, okay, Dave learned from last week. We might have a game from Dave Canellis that I say he didn't learn from last week, and that will be scary. And us winning the game or losing the game has nothing to do with me saying if he learned or didn't learn. We could win or lose the game, and I can say, yeah, I think he learned from last week or he didn't learn from last week. It has nothing to do with us winning the game or losing the game. It has to do with how we execute when we execute, how we call plays when we call plays, when we decide to start doing something, when we decide to stop doing something. Do we decide to stop doing something? Did we need to decide to stop running the ball? I'll break that down when the time comes to break that down. But that's just how we got to chalk that up. It is what we got to really do is chalk it up. It's a loss. It's a game. It is what it is. We got to move on. We got the Saints. This is a big game too. Not in the grand scheme of things, but for the whole trash talking, this is a big thing. We did bad. We didn't execute offensively, and the good part is we know we can do better offensively. We know we can do better. Will we do better? That's the question. That's the scary question. Because to be better, we have to have learned from what we did last week. And that's all. That's the question we got to find out. We found out a lot of questions about our team last week, right? The question the most important question is, did Dave Canellis learn from last week? Now, there's some other questions, but I want to get into the voicemails. Shout out to only one person. Only one person hit up the hotline and hit up the voicemail. If you don't know, we have a voicemail, 850-778-5282. Call the hotline, leave a voicemail, and we'll play it. It's not live. You don't have to worry about someone picking up the phone or anything like that. It's a voicemail. You just drop your message and we'll play it. We're going to play a voicemail. It's a two-part. We just realized, which I should have said before, the voicemails are 3 minutes long, but that's okay. You can do like this person did, which was he said what he had to say, and then he called in and continued the conversation, part 2. So let's listen to the voicemail and let's talk about it a little bit.
Yo, this is Valzad.
Give me a thumbs up and
Call in and
thumbs
give
up
my
emoji
opinion
if you
on the
can hear
game.
the voicemail,
Shout out
please.
to RTP and shout out to RTP and the Pewter and Red podcast. Yo, this is Valzad. I wanted to call in and give my opinion on the game. Shout out to
I think
RTP
he said
and
Alzar.
the Pewter and Red podcast.
Shout out to Alzar. I don't know if that's what he said.
So just to be quick, man. Honestly, I didn't expect us to actually win this game, so I'm not as disappointed, I guess, as most Bucs fans. I think the defense played as expected, really. It's the offense. I think that's why we lost the game. I know a lot of people have been blaming Canales, but honestly, I think he's actually been doing a pretty good job, honestly, because, of course, he's a new OC. And, his quarterback is Baker. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have any love, of course, for Baker or anything. Personally, I want Trask to be the quarterback, but, Baker's the guy, so I'll support him. But I think the reason that the offense is a bit limited is because they're calling plays, and this is my opinion, of course, but I think they're calling plays to try to limit the amount of turnovers that Baker can have if they let him let loose. So
now, let me stop that real quick. I'm going to say this. One part is I think for me, I'm not disappointed because I thought we could win the game, because I did think we could win the game, but obviously I knew how big of a hill this was going to be. So that's not necessarily why I was so disappointed or why I felt so heartbroken, basically. What made the loss tough for me is how pitiful we executed offensively. We didn't give ourselves the opportunity to measure ourselves up to this team. I'm a Trask guy as well, and I'm glad that he said what he said, which was he's a Trask guy, but Baker is our starter, so he supports Baker. I'm glad he said that. That's awesome. He doesn't think there's much blame to put on Canellis, and that is because he believes that Dave Canellis is trying to protect Baker from himself. I believe he didn't protect Baker on that interception because he shouldn't have given him that type of play. But again, that's my opinion, just like you have your opinion, which I can tell by how you're speaking. You understand how to listen to other people and how to like take other people's opinions and not be like, you're wrong, which I try to, hope that that's how we act here on this channel. We just listen to everybody's opinions. And He has a fair point, and I believe that my point of that is fair as well, that he didn't protect him in that halftime. I think he didn't protect him. He should have protected him a little bit better. Forced his hand to maybe not even try to make a throw like that. But I do hear what he's talking about of he believes it's not Dave Canellis' fault because he believes that he's saying that he's forced to call the plays like that because his quarterback is Baker. Which could be a problem if that is what it is. I'm not saying that it's not, because that definitely could be the reason why he called that play, because it did seem what's the word I'm looking for? I translated it, or I looked at it like he had a game plan to be safe. I didn't really feel like it was necessarily for Baker, but you could translate it to maybe looking like that. Maybe that's what you saw it as, that our game plan was to play safe for Baker. I don't know if I see that, but I can see that. But as I was watching it live, I felt like it was more about the team. Like he was keeping it safe for the team. And he never got out of that when I felt like it was time to, okay, let's open it up and we got to open it up and let's try to do some damage throwing the ball. He's saying we didn't open it up because of Baker. We can't open it up because of Baker. And I feel like that was just Dave Canellis' call. Like he just didn't realize you know what, it's time to just open this up. Now we saw the other part was we did see him open it up a little bit, right? In the fourth quarter, when Baker started chucking the ball down the field, we saw him open it up a little bit there. So that would give me a little bit more pieces of me feeling the way I felt of, I don't think it was so much of we were just trying to protect Baker so much he was scared to open it up because of Baker, which it still could be. It still could be. But because of what we did in the fourth quarter, that makes me lean a little bit more towards my conclusion of, I just think he just waited too long to say, you know what, let's open it up. That's how I see it. But again, I can definitely see it could be 1,000% true that he just was scared to do it because of Baker.
I think there's some fear there. I don't think it's all Canellis. It actually could be Todd Bowles too. Maybe Todd Bowles talks to Canellis.
That could be too.
Tell him, hey, listen, Baker's the guy. Let's play a bit more conservative, like try to limit him from getting turnovers, and let's just go out here and just try to do like what we can to win the game. So that's kind of what I think.
Let me stop that right there too. Yeah, you 1,000%. It could have been Todd Bowles. It could have been Todd Bowles that said, hey, don't open it up yet. Don't open it up yet. Stick with the game plan. Now, unfortunately, we don't know how much of a role Todd Bowles has with that offense. We knew when Byron Leftwich was here, we knew what it was. We knew Byron completely had control of the offense, and Todd Bowles just took care of the defense. We knew that completely, whether it was Byron or if it was really Brady, which I believe it was really Brady taking, moving Byron as a puppet, basically. But we knew that Todd Bowles really was like, Todd Bowles would say, go for it or don't go for it type situation. But as far as opening up the playbook, staying conservative, running the ball, bailing on the run, all that decisions was all Byron. We don't exactly know if all that decisions are Dave Canellis. Now, I'm going to assume it is, because I think Todd Bowles understands that he just needs to leave that alone and let Dave do his thing. That's why he got Dave, because he believes in him. I'm going to assume that, but I have no idea. We don't know yet. And I think the more we get these press conferences, which is why I've been waiting for press conferences and been hoping that we got some Dave Canellis press conferences and some questions for him, because I want to hear some questions to try to get more or less of an idea of who has control of what on that offense in the decisions. But we haven't had any press conferences today. We didn't get really nothing we haven't spoke to Dave Canellis yet. But that is a good point. And we will find out. Eventually we'll learn through press conferences and questions and through games. We'll learn, does Dave Canellis have the power to say, hey, let's ditch the run, let's start opening this up? Or is Todd Bowles the one saying, hey, stay with the game plan, do not ditch it yet, stay with the game plan, stay with the game plan? We will eventually we'll find out, but he brings a good point there.
That's just overall my opinion on that. But I mean, yeah, that's what I think they're doing. So I think they're forcing the run. Having Rashad and the other running backs just run it up the middle, or just run anything they can to just give Baker Mayfield just a few yards to complete when he does need to pass. I think that they may have a fear, right? Because of Baker, he had a ton of interceptions. Did he lead the league in interceptions like last season or the season before? So somebody get their stats on that. But that, and of course the interceptions that he had in practice, I think they're just afraid of him just turning the ball over and them losing the game because of that. So I think there's fear because of it. So I don't think that they would have ever just put the ball in Baker's hand and just trusted him to just let it loose on offense. Now I think sometimes that is absolutely necessary if you're going to win games, especially when you can't run. And if you can't trust your quarterback to just open up and just open up the pass game and just throw it, down the field and get it to Mike and get it to Chris, then I guess you need to consider a different QB. What else can you do? So I think that they will figure things out. This complete conservative.
So once again, the voicemail is only 3 minutes long. He ran out of time, but he calls back and he continues. So just remember, guys, 850-778-5282. That is the hotline. Come in. If you don't like what you said, you can always delete it and re-record it. He called back, part 2.
Part 2. I guess I was talking too long. But yeah, just to wrap it up, I mean, I don't think this conservative strategy is going to win us very many games. It may not win us a division. So they are going to have to. I mean, Baker's the guy, right? He's the one they picked to be QB1. So they are going to have to trust him. It's going to be necessary, right? Because they can't be so one-dimensional on offense. You can't just keep running on first and second down and just trying to do a short little pass on third. So yeah, I trust him to figure it out. Again, I think Canellis is doing great. I think he really understands what he has in Baker, and I think so far he's actually called plays to Baker's strengths, which is why Baker has looked really quite good, even in this loss tonight. So I think they'll bounce back. The reason why.
Now let me stop him real quick and say this. I agree with everything. You can call in. So Jarvis, if you want, you can click on the link here. I'll put a shoot. I will open up the phone line if you want to call the phone line. You could try calling the phone line. Since I'm on it right now, I'll probably get the message. I mean, probably get the call in. So you can try calling right now if you want to call in. I don't know. If not, leave a message and I'll get a link for you so you can actually come in the show and talk. Give me 1 second. Let me finish this thought process, which was, I agree with everything he was saying about Dave Canellis has been doing good because he's been making Baker look good. I agree with that. I also agree with the point of we can't stay conservative. What I disagree with is winning the division. I think we can win the division playing as conservative. I think we can win the division playing conservative like that. Now, it will be a close call. I will say that. But the reason why I think we can is because I think the rest of the division is so bad that we can just win like teams that are not as good as us and stay conservative and still win those games and have enough wins to have more than the rest of the division, because the rest of the division is playing bad because they're just not good offensively. Us playing conservative is just as good, if not better, than the other teams in the division trying their hardest, not playing conservative. It's just as good. And we have a better defense than everybody else. So because of that, I think we still end up on top. Now, Playing conservative is not going to give us a chance to beat any team that's as good as us or better than us. It's not going to give us any chance. You saw where we're at on my tier. Anybody that's on our level, it's going to be hard to beat them if we're staying conservative. Anybody that's above us, it's going to be hard to stay with them if we're staying conservative. And anybody that's one tier under us, it's going to allow them to have a chance to beat us if we stay conservative. So it will make things way harder if we stay conservative. But if we stay conservative, I think we still have a good chance. It'll be a little bit more challenging. It'll give the other teams in the division a better shot at competing with us. But I think it's still positive. But I hope we don't. I hope we don't stay conservative. I'd rather lose the division and not stay conservative and see what we can do with Baker. Because if we can't do nothing, if we have to stay with Baker conservative, then we know Baker's is not our guy. And I already believe that Baker is not our guy. But this is what I want to happen. I want to discard Baker. If Baker can't, if we have to stay competitive, if we have to stay conservative with Baker, let's put him to the side and let's find out what we can do with Kyle Trask. Because I feel like we don't have to be as conservative with Kyle Trask. I feel like we can truly open up the offense with Kyle Trask. Now, again, with Kyle Trask, there will be a lot more turnovers. There'll be a lot more learning lessons. But when it clicks for Kyle Trask, and I'm not talking about like sometime in the season. I'm talking about during the game. When Kyle Trask settles down in the game. See, when Baker settles down in the game, now we're like, okay, we can be effective. You know what I'm saying? Now we could be effective. Now we can try to score some touchdowns. Now we can do something. When Kyle Trask settles in the game, now we could be explosive. Now we could be dangerous. Now Mike Evans can be put in his full potential. Now Chris Godwin can be played at his full potential. Now the offense can be ran at its full potential. That's the difference. But let's continue this. And once this is over, again, I'll try to call this number to see if the phone line is live.
Think that we lost the game tonight.
Or if it's just voicemail.
You know, just being too reserved on offense. And yeah, you know, I don't put too much blame on Canellis. I think you know, Baker has to step up, you know, and get it done. So those are my thoughts.
All right. Yeah, so let me see if I can. It looks like, oh, hold on. Let me see something. Let me see if I can open up this hotline, make it live while I do this. Let's try this one more time. Hopefully that's all it takes is that. All right, there it goes. I will start doing that. So the hotline, excuse me, the hotline is live. So it is a live call-in show. If you want to call the hotline right now and speak live, we'll do that. It looks like someone left a message. So yeah, it's live now. It's live now. If you guys want to call in right now, 850-778-5282. So now I know how to do that. I know how to turn it on. So the phone line is live, and I know how to turn it off. So that's good. So that's, we got first caller. Let's see. How do I answer it on here? There we go.
Call from.
Hey, what's up?
What's going on? You're on.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
Let's go. Here we go. You're on
Aren't you?
Pewter and Red
You working?
podcast. How's it going? Who's this?
This is Eric. Raise boats, raise the bucks and boats.
What's going on? Bucks, Rays, and Bolts. What's going on?
It's going great, man. We got a lot of injuries to update. We got some good news and some trouble news. Which one you want to start with first?
Let's start with the trouble. Always start with the bad. Let's go.
Jamar Dean was not at practice today during the portion of practice open to the media. Carlton Davis told he's expected to participate like practice. Vita and D Laney is also as a go along with Devin White. There are a go.
So Vita Vea, D Delaney, and Devin White are a go.
Yeah.
So the only bad was Jamel Dean.
Yeah.
What about Carlton Davis? Any update on Carlton Davis?
He had light practice today. Carlton is expected to participate with a light practice.
Okay.
Light.
I think Carlton might make it.
Hey, but I did hear William Jackson. We have 2 cornerbacks was at Bucks today.
Yes.
Working out today. You hear about that?
Yes.
And which one do you want out of those 2?
William Jackson.
William Jackson.
Yes. William Jackson III. So
Yeah.
they worked out some players. I would like William Jackson III because I've heard him a few times before. So we'll see how that plays out.
Do you think it's gonna be big money? What do you think the price tag of that?
No. We're not doing nothing like that. We're not bringing in any big money or nothing like that.
If you do you think it's gonna be maybe between 2 to 3 million?
I don't know. I'm not a numbers guy. I don't know. It's not a big it's not nothing that we have to worry about. Is what I'm saying. It's not a contract where okay, we gotta it's gonna affect us next year or something like that. It's nothing. We ain't got to worry about that. Like I said, this year, and I keep telling people, this year is the year that we bite the bullets for our contracts. So next year we can actually sign some people and have some good depth or some players, some other players. So don't worry about any contract talks or anything like that. We're not gonna mess ourselves up. This ain't the year for that. And Jason Light knows it. Any last thoughts?
And we did hear about Kansas on the indoor. Kansas was on the sitting. Similar on other D lines, but we don't. So far, Kansas. What do we know about Kansas? Here we go. Defensive lineman. I don't think he's going to play either. I don't know, but we shall see about Kansas. We'll find out then. I really think. I actually like this matchup with Bucks versus the Saints because remember what Devin White said. We know when James Winston can throw a pick. We already know what's going to happen with James Winston.
We'll see. I honestly would have preferred playing Derek Carr, but I'm just hoping that.
You really do?
Yeah, I'd rather have
James
Derek Carr. Yeah, Derek Carr is throwing up lollipop interceptions right now, so he's playing stupid. That offense is not clicking, and Jameis Winston's been in that offense before, and we know Jameis can slang it. Now he might throw us a pick.
Yeah. How do you feel about Alvin Kamara welcome back party? Alvin Kamara.
I'm not worried about it, and I'll explain it. Any last thing because I want to speak on that. Anything else you want to talk about real quick?
That's it for now. I think the Bucks gonna have. I think the Bucks defense will be okay this week.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate the phone call. Thanks.
You're welcome.
All right, call back. So that was a great phone call right there. So we are live with the number 850-77-85282 if you guys want to call in and talk about something. Let me speak on that Alvin Kamara because this is something that people are talking about when it comes to the Bucks, and it's something you guys got to really second think, man. People talking about the Eagles ran all over the Bucks, so we know we can. It's possible to run on the Bucks. Let me zoom in. No. No. Just because the Eagles were able to run on the Bucks don't mean you can run on the Bucks. Which brings me to my other point. A lot of people saying Rachaad White's not looking like an RB1. Now, again, I will agree. So far, he has not looked like an RB1. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's his fault. People got to understand the running back most of running back production has to do with about 70% the O-line. Matter of fact, 65%. 65% O-line, 5% the OC and the play calling in the game plan. And then the rest of it, 30%, the running back. Period. Look at Miles Sanders. Panthers thought they were going to have a great run game because they got Miles Sanders. Miles Sanders finished top 5. He was the 5th. He had the 5th most rushing yards last year. You think he's going to be top 5 again with the Panthers? It's the same Miles Sanders. What's the difference? The O-line. They don't got the same O-line to run behind. Like, just because they can run the ball with any player, it don't matter who their running back is, they're going to get yards. That O-line is a beast. Saints don't have that O-line. I ain't worried about no Alvin Kamara. Period. We got the running backs to go sideline to sideline with Alvin Kamara, and they ain't got the O-line to just punch it up the gut on us. Period. Their O-line is probably the worst that it's been in a long time. In a long time. And you can ask Saint fans that. They'll tell you. Kalijah Kancey. We still haven't got that man back. And when he comes back, man, I think Kalijah Kancey might just be the best pass rusher we have on the line, like real, for real, for real. I think Kalijah Kancey would have been such a huge, I think Kalijah Kancey is a game changer. Literally a game changer. What I mean by a game changer, I think if Kalijah Kancey was in that game, it'd be a different game. Now, people talking about, oh, he can't stop the run, and that might have been true. He might have got really punked in that game. He might have gotten really punked in that game. I'm not saying that he would have been a game changer on that front. I'm not saying that. But those plays, and there was a lot of them, where Greg Gaines or our defensive tackle was a second late from hitting Jalen Hurts, would have been sacks with Kalijah Kancey. Kalijah Kancey would have got there. He would have beat the block faster. He would have got to Jalen Hurts faster. That's what I mean by the game changer. He would have changed that game for sure. Them touchdowns, Jalen Hurts was barely having like a 1/10 of a second of enough time to just throw it. Wouldn't have happened with Kalijah Kancey on the field. Guaranteed. Game changer. Rashad West in the building. Yo, we got Zay in the bag in the building. What's poppin', my guy? He is a content creator, Falcon content creator, I believe. The man, Wolf solidified. Wolf is in the building. Says Wolf 100. Another content creator. He also be on our NFC South Roundtable. Shout out to Wolf. Millie in the building. Says, right, bro. I seen the schedule and I said 2-2. Pick the Eagles game to be the first loss. Who's this? So you think we're gonna lose to the Saints? Buck says, hi, Wolf. Hi, Zay. Rashad says, I'm behind on the stream, but love the content, bro. I appreciate it. Jarvis Long says, this a live call-in show. No, it is now. Thank you to your question. We've figured out how to do that. So I appreciate you, Jarvis. Jarvis Long in the building. Appreciate you, Jarvis. If you want to call in, man, you can call in 850-778-5282. If you want to make that call, it is now live, so you can call in live. Professor X says, what's up, Shake and Bake fam? We were hurt. We were hurt on defense, and I think a lot has to go to strength and conditioning staff, but did better than I thought. Where the heck is Kancey? He was dominant week 1. Yeah, I can't wait for Kancey. And it's a love-hate situation because I'm in a part where I'm like, I want him to play, but I'm like, okay, hold him on. If he's not 1,000% ready, hold him out, man. I don't want him to go out again. The next time he plays for us, I don't want him to leave. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I would really love for him to play in this game, but I don't think we need him. I would love for him to play, but I don't think we need him. So if he doesn't play, he doesn't play. Whenever he comes back, I just hope he stays healthy, man, because he is definitely a game changer. I know he's hurt, but why and how much longer? I don't know. So yeah, we talked about it. We got there. So yeah, for anyone who is watching this and it's not live, you can hit that number up. It is a voicemail. You don't have to worry about speaking to me live. Whenever I am live, I will turn this on. I'm guessing whenever I'm live, I will turn on the hotline live, so you could call in the show live if you want. But if you don't want to, speak live and you're watching this and this is not live, the show's not live for you, call. It's a voicemail. You just call in, leave a voicemail, and give your opinion on the team, give your opinion on somebody else's team, rant, go off if you want, show some pride, whatever you want to do, hype up the squad, whatever you want to do, shout out your team or somebody else's team or whatever you want to do, shout out the channel, shout out yourself. Hotlines for you guys, man. So I appreciate everybody that called in to the hotline. This stream went longer than I thought it was going to go because I really didn't have much to say. But once we started talking, actually, before we go, let's see if there's any. They still haven't did any. I believe they're practicing right now, so they still haven't did any press conferences. So do me a favor. There's 13 people here. Hit that like button if you haven't yet. Show the channel some love. Shout out to everybody. I don't know if you guys were sharing the channel or what, but we had a big jump. We went up to about 20. We jumped up 20. We were at like 240, or I think, or 200 and actually I think it was like 249. So we're like around 250. So probably about a 10 subscriber jump. So we've been going slow, but we had a jump right there. So that was great on your guys' part. So shout out to you guys. Round of applause. Shout out to you guys doing the job, hitting the like button, sharing this content. We had a good jump. Let's keep it going. Keep growing this channel so we can reach more Buck fans and have some more good Buccaneers football talk. And that way we can have good football talk and be able to, help each other down from the ledge of jumping off the ledge. You know what I'm saying? So appreciate everybody showing love. Appreciate everybody in the comment section. You guys are awesome. Appreciate everybody that called in. And I get, again, once you call in, you realize it's not that scary. Let me call in and be a part of the show, give my opinions. And again, we're not here to shut down your opinions. I know sometimes I come off like you're wrong and I'm right, and I'm trying my hardest to get out of that and to explain things better so you understand that I'm not trying to say you're wrong. I'm just trying to explain why I see your point, but then I'm trying to explain why I see my point, and maybe I'm not trying to convince you. I'm not trying to be here and make you think like me. I'm just trying to make sure that you understand every part of what I'm saying so you can see my point of view. Doesn't mean that you have to agree with my point of view, but as long as you see my point of view, that's all we're saying. Let's see my point of view, and trying my hardest to help everybody else in the comment section see your point of view as well. So don't be afraid to give your opinion, no matter if you think it might be wrong or whatever, or if it's crazy conspiracy. We do a lot of conspiracy stuff here too. Do not be afraid to give your opinion, man. We just come in here and give your opinion. Rock 813 in the building. What up, RTP? Just joining in. Well, we had a very good stream, so I advise you to rewatch the stream because we're gonna call it right now. It's your man RTP, Skull Gang in the building. We will have another conversation. Today's already Wednesday, huh? So we gotta do our pick'ems tomorrow. Hopefully, I just come in here and do some pick'ems real quick, and then maybe Friday we'll break down the Saints and talk about that game. And yeah, no worries, man. You could play us in the background at work. No cussing. You know how I do. Only time there's profanity is when we do the NFC South roundtable, because I can't really control, how they do their channels and stuff like that. So when you just see me alone, for the most part, there's no profanity. So you don't got to worry about, putting us in the background. But anyways, I'll see you guys next time I see you guys. Keep your head up. Remember, it's Pewter and Red till we're cold and dead. I'll see you guys later.